Anytime you set up a desired route along your own pathway or on your journey to the destination you set up, there are a lot of benefits that you can derive from putting that route together. We're going to talk a little bit about that and much more on episode 754 of today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Hello, Bob. How are you today?
Good. We are taping one more day. This is the last day of taping it. So this is Wednesday. We will be back live Thursday morning. I can't wait.
Me too. I can get change out of these clothes. 3 days of the same clothes. Wow. You like that, huh?
That's good. Well played.
All right. For those of you who don't know, and if you haven't watched the last 2 days, Bob's added a bell to our to the show, which is a great addition. Not quite sure what gets the bell rung, although it's fascinating. We used to have, there is a special award at Hamilton called the Bell Ringer Award.
The Hamilton College,
where I went to college. It was called the Bell Ringer Award. And each year it's given out to it's like a lifetime achievement award to a deserving volunteer, faculty member, alumnus.
You secretly want to win it, don't you?
Of course, it's a very desired award.
Oh, wow. This is a lot from you. I didn't think you'd go that far.
I'd be honored to do that. The interesting thing is it way back in the day at Hamilton College, all the classes were started and released on the chapel bell. And someone actually physically went up and rang the bell. And the funny stories are, from where you could be in the top of the chapel, you could see people trying to run to class. And there are legendary stories of, depending on who it was that was running to class, the bell might not ring at the exact time it was supposed to help them get to class. And as you can imagine, there might be other people that the bell rang early.
I like that story. That was good.
That's a good story. Here's another story. So we carried that through. When I worked at Hamilton in the Alumni and Development Office, we used to have a bell up front at the front of the office. And anytime a big gift came in or there was a big announcement from the vice president, they would ring this bell in the office. And everyone was supposed to come down to the front of the room for the announcement.
Okay.
And I remember the first time it rang, I was like, what's going on there? And all these people were like heading out of their offices. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, you're supposed to go downstairs because there's a big announcement. So
I like it.
It was a nice tradition that we had at the time.
I like it. It.
All right. So how are you doing, Bob?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying this discussion about bells. I didn't know that we could go this far with bells.
Probably go a lot further. We could have a whole episode on ringing the bell. We could talk about why you have a bell and what that bell otherwise is for. And there are lots of things we could.
But let's not. Let's focus on our topic. I'm excited to get to this topic.
Oh, all right.
Well, we talked about the challenges yesterday, so it's time to talk about the benefits of having a desired pathway, a route on that pathway.
Do you want to do that introduction or you want me to do it?
You go. I botched it yesterday. I'm going to let you go back to your skill set.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. As Bob mentioned, all this week, we are talking about the desired route along your pathway. And today we're going to talk about the benefits. If you want to hear about the challenges or you're not quite sure what the desired route means, go back and listen to Monday's episode, which would have been 752. And you could understand a little bit more about how we see the desired route. And then 753, we talked about the challenges. So you can go back and check that out. So today we're going to talk about the benefits, as Bob mentioned. And as we're going through that conversation, if you have thoughts or ideas that you'd like to share, please feel free to put them in the comments of whatever social media you are watching us on. Unfortunately, because we are recording this, we aren't able to share those like we typically do in our recording. And that doesn't mean that we won't go back and answer them. We will. We'll look at your comments and ideas and thoughts and go back and add to them. And of course, anyone else who may see them in the comments, if they're on the same social media platform, please feel free to respond to them as well. Then at the end of that conversation, Bob and I will each share our one thing, our today's antidote, that thing that we hope will help you figure out when you're stuck or uncertain, or maybe just need a little bit more confidence, how to take the next step along your own unique pathway to the success that you desire. So
you do that really well. I'm just going to say.
Well, I've done it about 700 times, so I would hope that you jumped in there a few. We didn't have it before, so maybe not 700, maybe 600 times.
Okay, all right. You're good at it.
Some of it would lock in. Anyhow, before we go into the conversation, though, each day Bob and I share our celebrations. Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I'm going to celebrate all the people that are behind the scenes that enable us to do what we do. You know, they're a great we use a great platform called StreamYard. That's really a powerful tool. And Liz Brush was kind enough to do that introduction for us. And there are a lot of other people that over the course of shaping this show over the years have really been really valuable to us, just in giving us really good feedback, really good opportunities to really think about what we do and make it better each day. So just want to take a moment and thank all those people and the fine folks at StreamYard. And I should say, if Hamilton College would like to be a sponsor, we've given them a lot of time.
Yes, we have. Although people might listen to me and be like, I'm not sure that place is for me. You never know.
Maybe that's how you're going to get your award, by just constantly mentioning them.
I could do that. If we keep doing this for another 1,000 shows, and I mention something every day about the great experiences you would get in a small college and how the faculty member know who you are. And they're very focused on writing and presenting your topics, two things that I know you're very passionate about, writing and standing up in front of a group and sharing your thoughts and ideas.
Do they have any teaching positions open?
Probably almost every year.
Ooh.
You probably have to move to Clinton, New York, or somewhere in that vicinity. So it's a little colder up there, a little more snow. You'd have to consider that.
That could be an obstacle, but you never know. Where's Clinton? What's the nearest real city to Clinton?
Well, depends on how you define real city. Syracuse, Utica.
Okay.
Utica is the closest.
Okay. So it's way up there.
Well, how much that kind of shows your knowledge of the New York State geography. It's kind of in the center. Above it is the whole.
I picture New York City, and anything above New York City on the map is north of New York.
Well, it's north of New York City. It's all part of New York State.
Right. I get that. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going because they're either going to say this guy doesn't know his geography, or why are these guys wasting my time with geography lessons when they could be talking about a really important topic, which is your desired route to your destination, that pathway, and the benefits. So, Tom, would you like to start today on the benefits?
I guess I don't get to celebrate today, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. You can celebrate. This is what happens when you do 3 of these in a row.
Or when you try to take over. That's usually
that too.
So I am going to celebrate my last day of not having to absolutely positively have to be up at 6 a.m. so that I can get ready for this show.
Okay.
Now, there's a good chance that tomorrow I'll celebrate being back on my normal schedule. I don't know that right now because we haven't experienced it yet. And I think there's a good possibility that I'll be like, you know what? I was really looking forward to getting back to doing the show live. So for now.
What's the latest you've ever gotten up to be at this show?
I'm pretty sure I probably woke up once at 7.
Okay. I've done 6:52.
Yeah. So
throw on the clothes and show up.
That conversation is probably about as interesting as the geography lesson of New York City.
Yes.
All right. So that's my celebration, is that
I like it.
And turn off my alarm this morning. Okay, so let's dive into our conversation. Bob, do you want to share some thoughts and ideas around the benefits?
I see how you walked away from me letting you go first. That's good. I think the number one benefit is, I think when you have a desired route, it gives you the confidence to move forward. You at least know the next step you're taking, or the next 5 steps, or the next 10 steps. You have a plan in place. And I think that gives you okay, it's Monday morning at 9 a.m. This is what I'm doing now. You might change at 9:15 because the thing you did at 9 doesn't work. But I don't know about you, but when I show up at work and I don't have a plan for the day, it usually doesn't go as well as when I have a plan, even though there are plenty of days where I have a plan and I get a call and it completely gets altered. But I try very hard the night before to put a plan together for the next day, subject to change. Variety of things can come up, but at least there's a starting point for, if everything is the way I anticipate it to be based on what I see tonight for tomorrow, I have a plan in place. We are planning to do the show live Thursday, tomorrow, as it were, if you're listening to this recording now. And who knows, my flight might get canceled. I might stay another day, and I'm not taking a computer. So I don't know. It might be live on my phone, which I've done, or it might be, hey, Tom, got bad news for you. I'm just not in a place where I want to do it. We'll skip it, or we'll do it later in the day. All those things are possible. But to have the plan, to know, you just said it, I'm looking forward to being back Thursday and back into my routine. We have no guarantee of Thursday being our routine, but having that grounding, I think, is really helpful.
Yeah, I would even take it a step further. And I would say that I think it gives us confidence to move forward. I think one of the biggest challenges is not being certain about what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times that slows people down or holds them back, or they get stuck, or maybe even, I was going to say worse, and I'm not going to define it as worse, or they get completely off track and do something that is not really moving them forward. It's any of you who have TikTok have probably at some point been like, I'll just take a little break because I'm not really sure what to do next, and hop on TikTok and start scrolling, or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And before you know it, you look up and it's like, oh, I was only going to do that for 10 minutes. And now it's been a half an hour.
Oh, Tom, you're like in my head. Stop it. Stop it.
And I think that without a desired route, we don't know that. And I think the other thing about it, I think that confidence also leads us to take a step, even if we may not see the desired results that we were expecting. That we can take the opportunity to learn from it, knowing that, well, I'm only on step 1 of what I laid out, and there might even be more steps along the way, of 30 steps that I believe are going to help me get to where I want to go. So let me keep taking them and see if I get closer and closer and closer as I evaluate measuring my progress towards that goal. I think without that, sometimes you're just like, well, my goal is to make 50 calls in a week to prospects. And I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I can spend a lot of time because I'm not confident about making those calls. Because if I was confident, it'd be easy. I'd pick up the phone and I'd make the call that I wanted to make. And I think so often it's that lack of confidence that keeps us frustrated and stuck. And I think that one of the things the desired route, having it laid out, does is it's a system. Here are the steps. Not 100% certain that it's going to get you to the destination that you desire, because there are a lot of things that could get in the way. And there may end up being more steps that we found out that we need to add.
Or there could be fewer steps.
Or fewer steps.
Right?
Correct. Yes, absolutely. And so the number of steps, the desired route may change, be modified, at least though I know what the next step is. And I can choose to take it. And I think I can take it more confidently because I know that I had thought about this before. I think that when we lay out, here's our destination, when we choose that destination, and then we sit down and say, okay, well, given what I know at the moment, what would the desired steps be? I need to do this, 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 and this. Okay. I probably is not the complete route. It's at least the route that I know of at the moment, and that I can confidently take the next step, because I believe in my heart of hearts that it is helping me get to the success that I desire. And so
Right.
I think that confidence in that system really makes it a lot easier. Like if you had gone in and say, all right, I want to make 50 calls this week, and said, well, okay, what is the desired route to that? Well, one is I need to download a list of all the possible people I could call. Great. Then I want to go down and identify those that I think have the best procs. They are the prospects that we move the furthest along, because that's going to get me closer to maybe getting a sale is what it is. All right. So now I've identified the 50 names. Now I need their phone numbers, and I need to have them handy. And once I have their names and their phone numbers handy, and I know exactly what my conversation starter is going to be, the next thing I need to do is say, okay, well, when am I going to make them? 50 calls may, for some people, seem like a lot. For others, they might not seem like that many. And so if I sat down and said, okay, well, for me, because I get nervous when I'm making those calls, it's a lot, and I have to really build myself up. So I might say, okay, I need to set aside blocks of time each day to get through the calls that I need to make, because I know there's going to be a little apprehension, or there's going to be follow-up on the back end, because I really need to record and then take those steps. But at least I know that's the desired route. And if I keep taking those steps, and at the end of the week I see, okay, well, what was my destination? Did it work the way I thought? Did it not? Did something get in the way? All right, what now have I learned, so that I can figure out what to do next? So I think it provides us with the confidence and the systems to help us move forward.
So can you go through that again tomorrow morning, Tom? Because I've got to make a whole bunch of calls since I've been away for a couple of days, and you sequenced it really well. And the apprehension part, I definitely felt. So, but
I could, or you could take the recording and play it back.
What?
It is on a podcast.
Yeah.
You can listen to it.
It's interesting. You talk about the whole starting the process and taking that first step. When I was running more frequently than I do now, the first step to running tomorrow morning at 5:30 at the beach was putting my clothes out to go running.
Sure.
And so as I went to bed, I'm thinking, okay, here are my clothes for running tomorrow. It's going to rain, so I'm going to make sure I wear a hat. And so the next morning when I wanted to go to sleep longer and not get up, I'd look over where my phone was, that was my alarm, and I'd see the clothes, and it's like, I got the clothes out. And then the next step would be getting up, drinking a glass of water, and then would be going out, and I'd bribe myself, like, I'm just going to run for 5 minutes. That's all I'm going to do. Well, 4 minutes in, it's like, this isn't so bad. Hey, this is rocket. Before you know it, you would run for a half hour, 45 minutes, all because of the first step of putting your clothes out.
Yeah.
And so many people would be like, yeah, I've got to run in the morning, but they wouldn't take a first step. They get up in the morning and be like, oh, it's going to rain. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day. And that's where I think that lack of confidence is what stands in a lot of people's way of the success that they probably could have. I know it stood in my way many, many, many times. Yeah. And I've never met anyone who's like, no, I've never had a moment of being unconfident. I've always taken the next step. Always, 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 always. No fear, no nothing. Okay. Yeah. If you meet that person, I'd like to meet them too. I'd like to interview them on the program.
Yeah, I would agree. All right.
I can only think of one person who would say you need to interview me as I think through it.
You can only think of one person that would interview you?
No, that would think that they were the person who never gets delayed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Do you have your one thing?
I do. I think when we talk about the benefits, it's really about starting with the first step. The benefit of having a desired route is that it makes figuring out that first step easier. if I'm going to run in the morning and it's going to rain, knowing that I need to put clothes out that are going to not let me get soaked or will do well in the rain is really important. And that's a step that if I got up in the morning and like, oh, wow, the weather's really lousy, it wouldn't work as well. And we see it, and you can apply it to business as well.
I like it.
Good. What do you got?
I think you're going to like mine. I think.
All right. I got the bell ready.
So to me, I think the number one benefit of having a desired route is it eliminates the excuses that so easily pop up of why we don't want to take the next step.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. I don't have any clothes to wear. I've never done this before. I'm stuck. So I just won't do it. And usually the desired route includes some steps that are challenging. And that if we at least set up the desired route to the best of our ability, it's pretty hard to say, I don't know what to do next, because we've already identified something that you could. Doesn't mean that it is the quote unquote perfect next step. It is a next step. And it makes you really look in the mirror and say, like when you laid out your clothes and you were all ready. And I was the same way. I used to work out at 6 a.m. pretty much 3 days a week. And when my clothes were all laid out, I had booked my class. It was really hard to look at myself in the mirror and say, I'm not going to go.
Yep.
And I think those were the excuses that I was looking for. Well, I don't have any clean clothes. Oh, I didn't book class. I don't have my stuff to take a shower afterwards. Easy to make excuses. I think when you create these next steps, it's a lot harder to make excuses. And it's another way to create a system of accountability to help you do what you said you were going to do, which you believed when the time that you said it or the time that you put it into your desired route felt was the thing that was going to help you the most.
I liked. Very nice.
Like that.
Very nice. That was good. I like that. I'm going to go back and watch this episode when it comes up.
Well, that'll be good because then you'll catch what I said at the start about the making calls and what that routine is. And so,
that's right. There you go. That good plan. I like it.
I like to think. Anyhow, if you have one thing that you'd like to share, your antidote, please feel free to put it in the comments. If you are listening to the podcast and you don't have a place to comment, or you just feel like, you know what, this is something I think has a lot of value. Kind of like what we do every day. We just share our value and think that it's going to have an impact on someone. You could go into the Ring of Renegades Facebook group and share your value there. Because I know even if they don't comment, even if nobody likes, people are gaining value from what you have to share. And so we want to hear and take advantage of the value that you have. And by you doing that might give someone else confidence to share their value. And they may share exactly what you've been looking for. It has kept you from taking your next step to achieve the success that you desire. So we look forward to seeing you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. If not, we will see you live, hopefully, and in person, unless something goes that we can't control happens.
Well, not in person. They're not going to come to where we're recording this, right?
No, I don't think so. There isn't a real place. We're recording it in the internet, in the ether. So there's no place. But you
said in person, which made me think of like a studio audience.
Fair enough. We will be live with this show. That's our desired route for Thursday morning. So we look forward to seeing you then, 7 a.m. Eastern time for our next episode of today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegading you. It is really, really, really worth it.
Yes, it is. Go out and make it a great day. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.